Hello again, and welcome to Bluebeam Digital Takeoff Estimating Part 4 in regards to brace frames. So I'm going to get right to it. And on this drawing, obviously, the first thing you need to do all the time is verify your scale and making sure that your measurements are matching up with your scale there. So that was done before coming online with this video there, so I'm all set to go. So let's start taking off brace frames. So as you can see down below, my markup list is completely empty. So I'm gonna go in my tools and my HSS tools and get the brace that I need. So we're doing some 203 by 8.0, which is 203 by 7.9 in the CISC manual. So here we go. So this is one, same size. Here's number two. And as I'm picking off my dimensions, everything is being added down below on my markup list again. So we're just going to take this off. It shouldn't be too long. So again, 203 by 8. All right, 203, we'll do all the 203 by 8. And we're going to change size after just to make our takeoff more efficient without having to change our profile size or the HSS size there. So I'm going at it. Obviously, if you guys could see my see a second screen, I'm able to have my markup list shown on that second screen, which it would prevent me from having to scroll in all the time to make my view a bit bigger. But that's no problem just for now there. Okay, 8. And what's that's another 8. And what's left, these are 6.4, so I'm going to pick my 6.4. 6.4. And what else do we have right here? This is an 8.0, so I'm going to get my 7.9, 8.0. So that's almost it. This is a 9.5. All right. So in roughly probably 3-4 minutes, we just took off this page of brace frames, and some of you may be questioning what about the gusset plates there. So there's different ways of doing it. I know some people might make an allowance, a percentage allowance for based on the size of your brace. In my case, what I'll be doing is I'm going to go into my plate toolset. And to get started, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out one plate. So I'm going to assume that we're using some 19 millimeters. So we know the tube seal body is a 203. So we're just going to eyeball it, and I'm going to lay out my plate. So we're going to the face. Normally we go down to the top of our beam. And here's our first plate. So what we're going to do, we know that the plates down at the bottom are normally a bit bigger than the top ones. So I just created my first plate, which I'm going to go in and start adding my plates everywhere that I'm going to need a 3/4 inch. And even if my cope on it is reverse, we know that from side to side, it's a mirror image on our for our plate. So this is why I'm not really bothering to create a right hand cope on my plate there. So I'm just adding plates and I'll be done in no time. Again, what I'm doing is my preferred way of doing it. I feel it's more accurate than just using a percentage. But you guys could have, like I said, have an extra column which would make your allowance in terms of size and weights that you would need. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a top plate. Again, that should be the same for us, so we'll say a 3/4 inch. So I'm going to snap my my lines, create my plate. So I go to the underside alongside my column, and here's my second plate. So I'm going to go in and under my recent tools, get that most recent plate, and I'm going to start adding to the top of my connections here, or the top of my braces. So as you can see, it's pretty quick. And that's almost it. Here's another one, another one. And here on a V-brace, I'll be adding 2 plates, cover that. And here you go. So now we have, if I pull up my markup list, what's nice, here's all your main tube seal members, which all the data that you're going to need to do your takeoff. And again, don't forget this markup list is you're able to export it under CSV format and re-import it into your preferred MRP software. It could be Fabtrol MRP, Pro, Stromus, or whatever you're using. Down here we have our gusset plates in pink. So again, you have all of your data in your columns, your weights. So that's all created for you. And based on the time I took, it probably took me about 10 minutes to do that page here. So that could be repeated for the entire job there. Anyways, that was part 4 in regards to brace frames. In a few weeks from now, the next title I'll be looking into is how to assign a complete takeoff, like how to create subsections or phases or sequences, whatever term that you guys are using. So that will all be part of part number 5. So till then, you guys have a great long weekend, and we'll talk later. Thank you. Bye-bye.